Agent, we've got a case on our hands.
The picture shows a star-shaped structure. It looks to be of masonry standing firmly against a large body of water. The structure looks old but solid. It looks to have been constructed in the 18th century, and the masonry doesn't look like the brick that you are used to seeing.
We have intel that one of Maximilian Mysterio's syndicate is planning to steal it. The location is somewhere in the Sun Belt. Our thief is targeting a city known for its vibrant art scene, where tropical and traditional meet. Penelope, the Panther, Prowler sent communication to Max Mysterio that she's eyeing the prize in the Sunshine State. Let's have a look at potential locations of the target and start investigating, Agent.
The briefing continued, as Max described the planned theft specifics. The syndicate involved is noted for being quick, nimble, and able to scale great heights. The Panther sent a message that she loves going to this state because it also has majestic panthers. As the plan unfolds, there's another clue hidden in the communication. A coded message referring to a river of life flowing through the city. This is your second clue to the location of the heist. You look at the map on your desk. The Sun Belt could mean any number of places, but 3 states stand out to you. California, known for its endless summer and sun-kissed beaches. Arizona, famous for its desert sunshine. And Florida, a popular tourist destination due to its sunny beaches and year-round warm weather. You investigate California first. Los Angeles, with its warm and sunny climate, has a well-known waterway, the Los Angeles Aqueduct, that brings water to the city from nearby mountain system. This could be the River of Life mentioned in one of the transmissions. You start searching the internet for information about famous landmarks like the one Max Mysterio's syndicate is looking to steal. You're met with articles of sprawling beaches and a bustling art scene, yet something feels off. The landmarks here are grand but don't match the picture you were given. There's nothing along bodies of water that are shaped quite like the picture you saw. In a local Los Angeles news website, you come across a column about California's gold rush in 1849, the San Francisco 49 ERs being named after this event, and how California is known as the Golden State. You make a note of this and move on to Arizona. You've started to search Arizona, the state that claims to have the most sunshine. Each year, southern cities in the state reach temperatures well over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. However, you notice there isn't much water present on the maps. There are several man-made lakes, including Lake Mead, the nation's largest man-made reservoir of water. There's nothing on the map that shows a star-shaped structure. You then search for rivers flowing through cities in Arizona. You've landed on Tucson, known for its lively art scene on 4th Avenue. Sure enough, you discover the Santa Cruz River carves a path through the city and has played a role in the settlement and growth of the area. Interestingly, the river is dry. You're in a desert landscape, far from the tropical atmosphere hinted at in your briefing. You haven't stumbled upon the trace of Mysterio's group, despite scouring the news reports from the last several days. While watching the local news from an Arizona station, a weather report catches your attention. The meteorologist talks about Arizona's scorching summer, mentioning how it's much more intense than the milder subtropical climate of Florida or the coastal breezes of coastal California. You sit upright. You know it's time to move on before it's too late. You route your plan and head to Florida. As your plane descends into Orlando, you read up on the local art scene. Apparently, the city and the state have an abundance of subcultures with performing arts, visual arts, and music unique to the area. You peek out the window and notice the low clouds dangling above a sea of deciduous tropical trees. You have found a subtropical climate, and you feel confident. You've followed the clues correctly. Now all that's left is to protect the landmark. But which city are you looking for? Orlando, known as the City Beautiful, is known to have Florida Panthers present and is home to the world's most popular theme parks. Miami is a cultural icon with Cuban, Spanish, and African cultural influence, or St. Augustine, one of the oldest cities in America full of historic landmarks of its own. You set off on your mission, determined to protect the landmark. You head out towards the downtown area of Orlando, thinking about the city's unique blend of arts and tradition, the coded messages, and the specific skills of the Panther. You find Lake Nona, surrounded by high-rise buildings and an eclectic art scene. As you search the area further, You get a text message with a newly intercepted transmission.
I have arrived. It appears our target was built in the 18th century. This structure was used by the Spanish to protect their ships and the area from being taken over by British interests. It's made from stones of shell. Oh, and I'll be taking a beach day.
You can have your beach day after we get our fortress.
You've searched the area and cannot find anything like this on the City of Orlando's website. And there's no beach in Orlando. It's time to move on, and you know you are running out of time to save the landmark. Where will you look next? You look into Miami and note it is getting late. You fear you may be running out of time to stop the heist. You already have learned Miami is famous for its art scene, and its subtropical climate means life thrives here all year long. You check the Miami tourism website and discover there is an old building built in 1925. You remember Syndicate is looking to steal a landmark from about the 18th century, so the timing is close, and this could be it. You head over to the Freedom Tower website. It's a 14-story building that rises majestically into the sky. From the outside, you notice the large cupola and beacon, like a bell tower you've seen in the movies. As you get more excited that you might have found the location, but you look closer at the aerial view of the building. It's not a star shape. You also notice it isn't right next to a body of water. You search for other locations in the city that fit the clues you were given, remembering Penelope saying she would take a beach day, and Max calling the target a fortress. Nothing is coming up and your frustration grows. Just then, a text message comes through from Jax. You recap the clues you know. Sunshine State star-shaped building next to beach 18th century fortress made of masonry. Spanish influence Coquina or stones of shell. Subtropical climate panthers in the area river flowing through the area. Feeling anxious, you know you need to not waste another moment here. Hurriedly, you book transportation to the next city. Finally, you arrive at your destination. St. Augustine was established by the Spanish in 1565 and claims to be the oldest city in America. So you know the city is old enough to be home to a building from the 18th century. You're on the right track. You note the Fountain of Youth Archaeological Park as you move through the Arts District. You aren't finding what you are looking for, so you stop to think for a moment. You pull out your phone and begin to search for buildings made from Coquina in the city. In the old historic area, Castillo de San Marcos, the oldest masonry fort in America. Then you click for images in hopes to find what you're looking for. Bingo. As you click on the image and then zoom out on the map, you see you are just a couple blocks from the target. You found the city where a river, the Matanzas, flows nearby, a city with a vibrant art scene in a subtropical climate. You are confident you are in the right location, and you've made it just in time. You look to your left and notice one of Penelope's trademarks, a Black Panther paw print on the sidewalk. Your phone buzzes with a newly intercepted transmission. You know you need to be careful and need to prepare the syndicate. You reread all the intercepted clues and evidence files. With heart pounding, you study the image of the fort, envisioning a thief with a knack for heights, agility, and a feline-like stealth. You smile as you realize you have a chance to apprehend Penelope Prowler and put an end to her mischief. You prepare your gear and send the message to Jax. You call for a car and set out to save the Castillo de San Marcos, knowing that if you call for backup, you'll set off alarms and you'll never catch the syndicate. You must do this alone, and you're ready. The Castillo de San Marcos looms ahead as you arrive at dusk. Its silhouette against the setting sun, it's the perfect setup for the acrobatic thief. With your heart pounding in anticipation, you stake out the area, your eyes scanning the rooftops. Just as the city's clock tower chimes midnight, the start of a new day, a shadow moves. It's swift, almost imperceptible, making its way toward the fort. You sprint after the shadow, keeping up pace as the chase leads you through St. Augustine's cobbled streets. The city sleeps, oblivious to the high-stakes chase unfolding. The shadow darts into an alleyway, you follow suit, your breaths growing heavier. Suddenly, a rope ladder drops from above and the shadow ascends rapidly, displaying incredible agility. Not to be outdone, you grasp the ladder, climbing with a determination fueled by adrenaline. You reach the top of the buildings, a makeshift obstacle course in the moonlight. The chase continues, with the thief leaping from one rooftop to another, her movements as fluid and swift as a panther hunting elusive prey. Each leap you take is a leap of faith, the gap between buildings a test of nerve and resolve. Finally, you reach the Castillo de San Marcos rooftop, just in time to see Penelope perched on the edge, her silhouette framed against the moon. You dash towards her, but with a sly grin, she looks back and says, "Catch me if you can, but remember, a panther always lands on her feet." She vaults over the side of the towering building and you gasp in shock. You reach the edge in time to see a boat beneath her, the logo of a panther gleaming in the moonlight. She disappears from sight, leaving behind nothing but the rush of the chase and the promise of another encounter. Status: case closed. State: Florida City, St. Augustine. Target: Castillo de San Marcos. Syndicate: Penelope Prowler. As the adrenaline fades, you can't help but smile. You've protected the Castillo de San Marcos, and while the thief got away, you've gained valuable insights into her strategies. The game of cat and mouse continues,